Hey guys, good morning. It is Friday, October 30th. I hadn't put out a video in a little while, so I figured I'd just put something out. Um, First things first, thank you guys so much. I was a little stressed out, to say the least, when Terry decided that it was time for him to go, and also finding out that Zeta was sick the same day. So I was a little nervous, but within a couple of days, you guys all pulled together and really put me at ease. So I personally really appreciate it. There's only so much that I, as one person, can do. Just like all of you outside of here, I have a daughter who's homeschooling, who's home alone most days, teaching herself through the computer. I have a life outside of here too, and it's really difficult for me during times when all different shifts need coverage and things like that. So I'm really, really grateful personally. Obviously, if you need anything from me, that's what I'm here for, and I will make sure that it happens. But in the meantime, I know this was a stressful time for everybody, and I think almost every single one of you reached out and said, hey, what can I do? What can I pick up? So thank you a lot. On with that, I think Zeta's starting to feel better. I haven't talked to her in a couple days. It is kind of interesting to see the progression of symptoms. Might help you, if you were to get sick in the future. She had started out with just basic nasal congestion, which I feel like all of us have had. It's hard to tell what it is. She did say that it progressed to a cough. She didn't indicate that it was a real bad cough or anything that would normally alarm her. And that was about the time that she had gotten tested. And then, it did progress to headaches and more of that flu-like feeling, I guess. Again, I haven't talked to her in a couple days, but it sounded like she was doing all right. So hopefully we'll see her back by the end of the week. With that, too, for yourselves, remember that we all signed off that we would do a symptom checker before we came to work each day. I know it is so hard to tell what is a valid symptom and what isn't. I personally struggle with this every day. I have really bad allergies, and I'm a smoker. So I cough regularly, and I'm typically congested. I think the best thing we can do is just to know ourselves as best we can. I mean, if you know that you have allergies every day, you know that maybe that's not what's going on. Definitely do a fever check, a symptom, or check your temperature each day. If you need to do it when you get here, there is a thermometer that's available. I'm going to actually put it in the sales office near the door so that it's more readily available for everyone. Never a bad idea to just double check. And if at any time you are running a fever, you should not be here at the hotel. So if you need to call me or whatnot, that's what we've got to do. So again, just be mindful of the way that you're feeling, and keep in mind that Brighton has, for Brighton residents and Brighton employees, which you guys all are, free testing on Tuesdays and Saturdays. The hours were 9 to 2, but I saw that this Tuesday, they switched it to 1 to 4. So you might want to double check the hours. They are testing about 300 people a day. So it's definitely a little bit of a crowd. If you're scheduled here to work, but you feel like you need to do that, work with me. We can probably figure out a way for me to get you that time to go and test. After that, obviously we've had a lot of changes lately. A lot of our shift changes. We're rearranging folks. The folks that were used to working certain shifts are either no longer here or have moved to, to different shifts or part-time hours. I am actually kind of excited about these new changes. I think it kind of freshens things up around here. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to miss my regular folks too. But the big thing is that with new folks in A shift more than anything, these are the folks that are preparing the day for our arrivals to not, in the evening time. These are the folks that are communicating with housekeeping to make sure that the rooms get cleaned properly. They're really a large part of their position is putting everything together so that the guests have a better stay. ideally by B shift, most of the arrivals are taken care of, and traces are resolved, things like that, and everything is set up for a good evening shift. And then B shift, it's your responsibility to make sure the guests have all the information that they need to have a good stay. So with A shift being so new, I feel like you guys are doing a fantastic job. You know what to do, and you're doing all the things. I have noticed a few things with like the time of day that we do them, maybe some things that we need to do a little bit earlier in the day. So I think I'm going to put out a separate video just for some A shift tips. Obviously, it's cool for everybody to watch it, kind of have an idea of what that looks like, or if you need an A shift refresher. So I'm going to do that probably not today, but probably Monday, Tuesday. And then in the meantime, I'm here with you guys at least one day a week, hopefully more than that. But if you have questions, or if you want me to walk through something with you, one of the biggest things is checking the arrivals and really reading those comments, reading all the notes, and getting to know what's going to happen for that day. A lot of times there's some good information that's hidden in those comments, and I just don't feel like any of the shifts are really reading them very closely. So that's that. Overall, I only have positive things to say. I know everybody feels like they're doing a whole different job than we're used to. Things are weird. People are kind of worried about getting sick. Our guests don't want to wear masks half the time, which, by the way, you're more than welcome to hand that guest a mask and say, hey, I need to give you a mask if you're going to be around here. That's usually how I handle it. However, I do let guests pass through without wearing a mask, and I'll make kind of judgment calls with guests at the front desk. A lot of the older folks, I won't force a mask on, although they probably should be wearing it more than anyone, but that's just my opinion. But some of the folks that are, especially if they're in the breakfast area, things like that, I do try to get those all in masks. Your comfort is also important, so if you don't feel comfortable at the desk with somebody talking to you without a mask on, you have every right to say, please put a mask on if we're going to, continue talking or working together. So that's masks. If you have not done your concerto training or your digital check-in training, so technically there are 3. There's a basic concerto, there is a more detailed concerto, and there is a specific digital check-in training. The information on these is posted on my office door. If you have not finished all 3, you definitely want to do that. I don't necessarily need the certificates or anything. I mean, if you want to print them for me, I will totally take them. But I just need you guys to finish it so you have the information. Digital check-in was supposed to be released in the next week. It does look like it's being delayed. When it becomes available to us, we are going to take that opportunity, though. I think with not having a lot of arrivals and having a small team these days, it's actually a good time for us to break in something new. So that's that, digital check-in. And finally, breakfast. Breakfast will be changing in the next 2 weeks. I was going to do it this week, the 1st of November. However, with Adams County going to a level 3 safer at home level, I think it's probably best we hold back just a little bit on that. When we were at this level in the beginning, we were handing out bags from the front desk. So we're already kind of outside of what we should be doing for this level of safety. But hopefully within 2 weeks, we're going to bring back, the eggs and meats and biscuits and gravy and cinnamon rolls. And I may actually bring back cinnamon rolls next week. But however, instead of buffet style, it's going to be served. And we're going to be closing off the buffet area to guests. So the breakfast attendant will be at a table there, and then they'll go and get the food for the guest and then hand deliver it to the guest at the to-go table, if you will. So that is something that is coming down the pipes. We don't necessarily need to inform the guest just yet. I will definitely make sure you guys know when that change happens, and I would expect it to be in about 2 weeks, so around 14th, 15th of November. If anyone has any special Thanksgiving Day requests, please just give those to me directly. You can text them to me or email them to me, or if we see each other, we can talk about it. I'm going to probably do the holidays a little bit different this year because we are such a skeleton crew. Um, I would ask that because we are such a skeleton crew, one, if you would like to work the holidays, if you like that time and a half, and the holidays maybe don't mean a whole lot to you this year or in general, please let me know if you are willing to work shifts, that if you're kind of wide open. Two, if you do have holiday plans that are really important to you, please work with me. If you can do a 4-hour shift on those days, that would be fantastic. But we're going to do it on a case-by-case basis. So right now we're going to focus on Thanksgiving. We don't know that we may have more staff by the time Christmas comes, so I'm just going to focus on Thanksgiving. So if you have special requests for Thanksgiving, I think I already have one request for time off during that time, but please let me know what your requests are and what we can do so that we can all make our plans ahead of time. And I will do my very best to make sure that that happens for everybody. But again, we are a skeleton crew, so we do have to kind of help each other out a little bit. And keep in mind, too, that if your intention is to take Thanksgiving off, the expectation is that you will be working Christmas or New Year's, and vice versa. That's why I often recommend the 4-hour shifts, because I think that's usually the most comfortable situation for everyone. So feel free to come talk to me. We can figure it out what works best, okay? And I think that's it before YouTube decides to cut me off. Thanks, guys. Bye.